hello. Good morning. If you're catching this on the morning, again, I apologize for the delay, just kind of getting all the tech together. I'm excited because we are doing another book club meeting. So if you are not familiar with who I am and what I'm talking about, hello, my name is Natasha Nurse. I am the coach, the speaker, the content creator behind Dressing Room 8. I started a book club a couple of years ago just because I really love reading, and I really love the power of books, and it really has helped to change and kind of develop the person I am as a woman, as a wife, as a friend, as a business owner, all of that good stuff, content creator, all that good jazz. So, just kind of wanting to get on here every month and be able to share with you a book that I read. So for this month, I listened to Unf your but the full word, Unf yourself, get out of your head and into your life, Unf yourself series essentially. And it was really enjoyable because I just love the title, right? Like Unf yourself, like hello. Thank you. That's amazing. And this is written by Gary John Bishop, who is, best-selling author, I believe. The series is very popular. And he has an interesting approach, I think, to kind of helping people get motivated and helping people get out of their own way. So if that's something that you're struggling with this year, then I think this would probably be the book that you want to pick up and read. And even though, yes, we're at the end of the month, still doesn't mean that you can't stack it on and add it to what you want to read about, going forward. So I had, my book club meetings, essentially how I run them is it's an opportunity for me to kind of give you my take on the book. I share a couple of lasting points about what you're going to expect, what's the whole point of this. And then you can chime in point by point, as well as at the end, if you have any other thoughts or questions or comments and things like that. And then I'll share with you what we're reading for March. Okay. So if that works for you, let's get started. First, Unf yourself. There were several things that Gary John Bishop talked about, but a couple of things that really stuck out to me were the following. One, you are what you do, not what you feel. I felt that was a really powerful point to make, because ultimately our feelings betray us. Our feelings can get us in a state like right now, I'm not feeling well, and it's easy to give into that, right? It's easy to say, oh, okay, I'm not feeling well, I'm just going to lay down and do nothing for today. That really wouldn't be productive though, right? Because if there's things that I need to do, if there are people I need to speak with, saying I don't feel well it's not going to cut it, right? At the end of the day, there are times in life where we just don't have the capacity to be able to move forward with certain goals or certain things. But, you really want to really move past your feelings. Your feelings are important. Your feelings matter. Your feelings are absolutely real, but you're more than just your feelings. You are what you do, right? And so I'm sending out a Dressing Room 8 newsletter today. We're just kicking out February strong, going in strong and ending it strong. And really, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss out on the February newsletter going out later today. And that's at dressingroom8.com. You can subscribe to the blog, you can subscribe to the newsletter, and make sure you get cop that information. But you are what you do, in the sense that if you say you're going to do something, do it, right? If you say you're going to write a book, write it. If you say you're going to start a business, start it. If you say you're going to start a company, start it. Whatever you're saying you're going to do, get out and do it. And maybe you might not feel up for it. Maybe you might not feel like you have what it takes to do it. Just get out and do it, So I think that's what he's speaking to there. And I thought that was really powerful and kind of landed home well for me. Next point was the time to act is now, not later. So this is kind of saying the sense of emergency that we have to have is for now, not later, right? Because it's easy to keep pushing things off, for myself included. Procrastination is something we all deal with, right? And for different reasons. Sometimes it's unworthiness. Sometimes it's a matter of you are not prioritizing your time well. Sometimes it's a matter of excuses. Sometimes it's a matter of negators and haters and toxicity standing in your way, and or you allowing that to stand in your way, right? There's a myriad of reasons why we don't move forward with certain goals, or we don't move forward with certain dreams and things that we do. But at the end of the day, if you set the tone for yourself and you say the time to act is now, not later, then what it will force you to do is to create a schedule and create a timeline that forces you to focus on the now, not the later, right? So yes, our goals are multi-tiered, multi-leveled. Take a timeline, right? We can't accomplish everything today, but at the end of the day, when it comes to your planning, what are you doing today? What are you doing today? What are you doing today? Right? Because tomorrow will happen if you're blessed and lucky enough to get to that point. But today, we can do certain things for our goals today. So the time is now, not later. So that's what I took from that. The next point that I thought was interesting was systematic replacement of bad habits with good stuff. Get rid of the bad to make room for the good. So this, I think, is something that I think personally, the biggest thing that I deal with that is like nutritionally. I grew up not necessarily always wanting to eat the best stuff, right? And not always wanting to treat my body as a temple and to honor the food that goes in, because you are what you eat, right? You are what you do, not what you feel, and you are what you eat. So, for me, bad habits, the best way to replace bad habits is, yes, you may want fried chicken, but let's do like barbecue chicken or baked chicken. And, yes, mac and cheese might be fun, but like, can we do some spiced cauliflower? Can we, right? Like, and so start to kind of encroach the bad with the good. And then eventually you have less room for the bad because it's filled with the good. And so I think the value of this is, so you can take that on a nutritional thing. You can take that on maybe bad habits, right? So maybe you're struggling with smoking. Maybe, discipline yourself in stages. Absolutely. On Periscope. You love it. Yeah, I like that. Discipline yourself in stages and set goals where they are workable, right? A lot of times we set goals and not that they're not achievable, not that they're not workable, but they're not something that you're going to commit to. And if you're not going to commit to the goal, then what's the point of having that goal, right? So definitely partition it in stages, definitely kind of doing things in piecemeal, right? So if you want to work up, like really, I'm another goal, wellness goal of mine this year for me is all about set achievable targets. Yes, absolutely. Absolute Periscope. Nice positivity. Like it, like the comments. Let's go Facebook. Let's go YouTube. Let's get it going. Ultimately, if you are, for me, I'm trying to get up to 10,000 steps a day. But, am I there yet? No, I'm not there. Have I hit that goal? Absolutely. This month, I've had a couple of days where I did over 10,000 and over 11,000 steps a day. But what my goal currently is to try to do 5 to 7K. Right, of steps per day. So then that way, when I am consistent with that, then I can Then I can inch it up and we can do 8 to 9, right? And then 10 to 11. It becomes easier the more goals you achieved. Exactly. Absolutely. And that too, the more you achieve, it gives you that incentive internally to keep going and wanting to do more. So that's the value of goal setting. That's the value of achieving your goals, because it helps push you. Because a lot of times people say, oh, I need other people. You need yourself. Right? No one will care about your goals more than you, because they're your goals. People, we have to realize the kind of the world we're living in, and everyone is self-absorbed. And so you need to use that and understand the rules of engagement and play the game accordingly. Your goals, your dream, your body, your wellness, your mind, right? All of that is you. So you've got to find ways to motivate yourself and to find mechanisms and tools for you to achieve your goals, because they're most important to you. Next is, he talks about no excuses. And that's like, I mean, obviously, right? He titled the book Unf Yourself. So obviously he's not going to be a fan of excuses. And I completely concur. I think excuses are the thieves of reality for ourselves. I think, we as human beings have a horrible habit of rationalizing anything, right? We can rationalize positivity. We can rationalize negativity. And excuses is just permission from ourselves to just F up, right? And it's not appropriate, and we're worthier than that. So, there's no real cute way about going about that. So he just really was just like, no excuses, right? And it's just like, concur, no excuses. So that's also really helpful. And if you're like, oh my God, I want this book, before you leave, wherever you're on watching me, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, go to dressingyourmate.com at the end of this so you can get the copy of the book yourself, as well as check out kind of the next book we're going to read as well. And so the next tip, there's 2 more that I want to talk about. You have to act for change and transformation. Interesting. So I think what he was speaking to there is this idea that like change is possible, right? Whether it's 1%, 100%, anywhere in between, change is possible, but the change is bigger than that, right? So sometimes, especially and wellness, I've seen this, right? We're not just working on maybe changing eating habits, right? Or changing physical activity levels, but we're trying to transform our lives, right? So the change is more meaningful for that. So if you can work towards that mindset of change is a bigger thing here for me, it's going to transform me, because I don't know about you, but I have found that being sedentary has made me more tired, right? And yes, physical activity can be tiring, but for some reason, the lack of it is more tiring. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to be tired either way, whether I work out or don't work out, but if I work out and I'm able to have more stamina and actually transform how I feel on a consistent basis, then I'm going to work towards that, right? I'm going to move towards that change, because that change is going to be a transformation and it's something bigger. So I really like that point. And then this was an interesting point. I don't necessarily know if I fully agree with it, but let's talk through this idea. Expect nothing and receive everything. So the thing about expectations, right, is that if you are expecting a bad situation, right, then, I think the law of attraction plays a role, whether it's good or bad or anything in between. And so in theory, you could help create that negative situation in your life. If you expect positivity, are you guaranteed to have that positive outcome happen? No, nothing in life is guaranteed. But I think what he's speaking to here with the expect nothing and receive everything is just to kind of work towards the goals and to stop getting in our heads about like what needs to happen, in the sense of like, what are you expecting, and just like, what are you doing? Just kind of a shift in the mindset. I don't necessarily know if I would emphasize the idea of like expect nothing, because it's like, well, you want to anticipate your positive outcome that you're working towards, right? Like if we're changing our mindset, if we're changing our lives, obviously you would expect to also have that change. But I think because expectations don't always carry through as we envision them to, then it can also, that activity of expectation can deter you from moving forward, because you get lost in the idea that like, oh, well, I was expecting this to happen and it didn't. And then you just kind of give up. So kind of like, let's move away from expectation as a concept, as a construct, as an activity in our lives, in our minds, and then just move towards just like, I'm going to do, right? I'm going to focus on the activity, the action. And then from that, receive everything from it, right? So the good, the bad, the lessons, the learning, teachable moments, all of that is going to come through. But I think we have to move away from just like the sitting and just like, okay, well, I expect to because I think like, and also Gary Vaynerchuk, if you're a follower of Gary V, I definitely am. He talks about people saying like, like there's no perspective. People have no perspective, and I totally am on board with that idea, because people just don't, I don't know, we've lost perspective in our society and certain generations. Like I'm a millennial, and I definitely feel like it's not consistent enough. And we can be better. We will be better. We'll keep moving towards what we need to, hopefully, if that's something that you want. But the expectation, the construct and the concept of it is not helping us, right? But what would help us is, again, the doing. We wake up, what are we doing? What are the 3 goals we need to accomplish today? What are 3 additional goals we want to accomplish today? And what are we doing? What are the mechanisms that we're using to get those accomplishments done? What are we doing with that? So if that all makes sense to you, if that all intrigues you, if that is something that you're like, you know what, that's really interesting, I want to learn more about it, I want to do more, right? All of that good stuff. Then what I recommend is the following. Definitely go to dressingroom8.com, and the 8 is the number. So dressingroom, the number 8.com, and go and get a copy of the book. It'll take you to Amazon. You can get the Kindle, you can get the audiobook. I listened to the book. I thought listening was like super easy. It was like 3 and change hours to listen to it, and you'll get through it. And I think it will help you think about your mindset for this year, right? We're still in February. It's still the first half of the year. There's still several months for us to go. There's still changes to be made, right? Like maybe this month was good for you. Maybe it wasn't a good month. Maybe today's a good day. Maybe it's not a good day, but there's still the possibility of change. There's still the opportunity that lays ahead of you, things that you can't even imagine and things that you can imagine, right? And so what do we need to do? Let's go over what kind of, I think, the main points that you'll take away from reading this book. You are what you do, not what you feel. The time to act is now, not later. Systematic replacement of bad habits with good stuff. Get rid of the bad to make room for the good. No excuses. You have to act for change and transformation. And then we have to expect nothing, receive everything. All right. So they're interesting concepts. The book was definitely interesting. Would it be a book that I recommend? Absolutely. I think a lot of people struggle with their mindset, excuse me. And at the end of the day, we have to do something about here, right? Because our life is a reflection of here. So if we're not reading content, if we're not learning, if we're not taking in tools and tips and tricks to learn how to change here, then what are we doing? We're doing an injustice to our life. We're not taking the time and the energy needed to change our lives, because that starts here. It doesn't start outside. A lot of people think it starts outside. Same thing with wellness and working out, right? Like for me, I've realized because of like inconsistency or like illness, usually like illness gets in the way of me being able to fully actualize all of the things that I want to do. Say like, oh, I want to work out 6 days a week. But if you're like, in extreme pain or dealing with certain things, it cuts into those goals, right? And you have to then readjust and kind of realign yourself. But first, it's a matter of here, like, can I get to the gym? Can I work out? Can I walk the steps? Can I monitor what I'm eating? Can I think positively about myself? Can I see myself as a beautiful, beautiful creature that, is here to do powerful things, right? Like all of that is here. That these are the things we're saying, the things we're thinking, it all becomes here. So again, Unf Yourself, Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Life by Gary John Bishop. My thoughts, 2 thumbs up. My recommendation, get the book if you're struggling with mindset. Get the book if you're struggling with perspective. Get the book if you're struggling with understanding how to change here, because I think that's really going to help you with that. Now, what's next? This is the moment you were waiting for, guys. This is the moment. All right, so let me show it on all platforms, okay? So there. All right. So it's, can you learn to be lucky? Why some people seem to win more often than others. So this is, there's a lot of different like quotes on the back of it. So I'll just read a couple of them just so you have an idea of like the book. And then there's a little jacket thing that I can share with you as well. So I don't know when I've been so wowed by a new author. Carla Starr explains how lucky can be learned using credible social science and captivating stories, leavened with keen humor that had me laughing on a plane. Apologies to the guy in 6A. This was written by Chip Heath, co-author of The Power of Moments and Switch. Another one is a clever, captivating read on how seemingly random events sometimes have predictable patterns behind them. If you believe chance favors the prepared mind, and this is the book to prepare your mind. Adam Grant, author of Give and Take and Originals, and Option B with Sheryl Sandberg. Another author who wrote about this, or person, is Carla's charming wisdom offers lessons of improving nearly every aspect of life. If you can't find a leprechaun, buy this book. Chris Gilabue, author of Side Hustle. That's really hilarious. And then another one is, this book is a triple threat, laden with research, immediately practical, and laugh out loud funny. You will deliciously frustrated by the hidden injustices of luck lurking in our midst, then revved up to use the simple life-changing luck hacks in every chapter. I gotta say, I feel luckier already. Tanya Luna, co-author of Surprise, Embrace the Unpredictable, and Engineer the Unexpected, and partner at Life Labs Learning. Interesting. All right, so this is the book for March. This also, again, is going out in the newsletter for today. So go to dressingyourmate.com to make sure that you're on the list so that you'll get the email. And then also you'll be able to get a copy of the book there. You'll be able to click the link. It'll take you to Amazon. I picked the book because, again, I really want the book club to focus on mindset. I want the book club this year to focus on business, negotiation. We have a book about negotiation coming up. That's a like classic negotiation book to read. I put in a couple of fictional picks in there just because I want to diversify. I don't think you should read the same thing every month. I think we have to change it up a little bit. I think there's a book coming up that we'll be reading this year on like how to speak with impact, which is really important. I'm really excited about that. As a speaker, I'm always looking to learn ways to be more impactful and ways to impart my knowledge in a way that's going to be as meaningful and resonate with you as much as possible. So are you excited to read the Unf Yourself book? Yes, you are. This was awesome. This was amazing. I had some really great commentary here on Periscope. Really appreciating that. That's phenomenal. Here on Facebook, on YouTube, I see a couple of people tuning in. So thank you for joining. YouTube, I see you. I see a couple of people coming there. So guys, this is the next book. dressingyourmate.com. You'll be able to get this as well on the My Recommendations page. And then after today, it'll also be on the homepage as well. And then beyond that, I don't really have anything else to add. I think, really the title itself, Unf Yourself. I mean, it's like, how can you go wrong with reading something like that, right? Like that's just like an awesome conversation starter. If you're going on a first date and you're like, hey, what are you reading? Unf Yourself. Okay then, right? Like, let's get this party started. So with that, I just encourage you I had a quote about reading that actually I wanted to share. So let me get that with you and share that with you so that you think about the value of why you're reading and you stay grounded and focused on your reading goals. My reading goals are to read at least 10 books a month. Last year I read 112 books, and this year I'd really like to read at least 115. So if I stick to 10 a month, whether it's reading, audiobooks, graphic novels, everything, guys, like read, grow your mind. And this is a quote that I'd love to share with you. So why should we read more? Think before you speak, read before you think. Fran Lebowitz. For us to articulate thoughts, for us to understand and gain perspective, for us to be able to interpret and have better levity in the situations happening in our lives, for us to be better women, to be better parents, to be better children, to be better siblings, to be better business people, to be better creatives, to be better content creators, to be better artists, to be better, ... right? In any capacity of whatever you're looking to do in this world, you've got to read. So if that resonates with you, then I know you're going to enjoy this book club for sure. And I know that you're going to be picking up the books and reading along with me. It's going to be amazing, guys. All right. So with that, I'm going to let you go. If you watch this on the replay and you have comments, if you weren't able to join now, please put your comments and hashtag replay so I can come back through and I can respond. Thank you for joining. Have a blessed, amazing day. What do we need to do today? No matter what, get that reading done in. Read, guys. We got to read. Okay. So I'm going to say bye on all the respective platforms. So YouTube, it's been real. I adore you. We'll see you. I'll see you soon. Alrighty. So Periscope.